Now that we know roughly how much ozone pollution comes from overseas, Valley air officials hope that federal standards will consider this impact when assessing potential fines if the Valley doesn't reach attainment by its deadline in the year 2032. I know you've heard the song Reunited and it feels so good, and that's exactly what one local woman felt today as she was reunited with her dog after 2 years. The first things first, it's freezing cold up here. At 17 News, we're monitoring El Nino throughout the winter months. Heyman says he did alert the local wildlife agencies up here, but in a sense, that's really all he can do. In Yosemite, Kurt Kelsey, 17 News. Winter weather advisory in effect right now for the mountain communities until 10 a.m. tomorrow. We're expecting 2 to 4 inches above 4,000 feet, a trace at the pass level from 2,000 to 4,000 feet. Mercury just skyrocketed today because of the high pressure dominating the region as well as the sunny skies. No clouds out there. We did hit some patches of some heavy rain in the 99 and even some minor flooding along that roadway, which did cause some hydroplaning. Here in town, we're looking at the Grapevine right now, a live look. We got the clouds in place. We have also some rain around Kern County, 55 degrees right now at Meadowsfield Airport. West-southwest winds at 7 miles per hour. We take a look at these temperatures right now. It's still pretty warm, 55 degrees in Buttonwillow and here in town like we said, but over the mountains, 41 for Fraser Park, 39 in Tehachapi, and 41 in Lake Isabella for the Lake Basin. It's cooler towards the Alta Sierra where snow is already falling there. So these temperatures will be dropping over the night. The mountain passes will be getting some snow as well, so they'll be seeing temperatures below freezing. Take a look at the radar screen right now, and there is some rain starting to fall in and around Bakersfield up to 178.
Welcome back. Kurt Kelsey delivering on a fantastic forecast.
Got some good news here, and I couldn't be more happy, especially going into the weekend. This weekend, fantastic. Next week, even more fantastic, or still fantastic, whatever way you want to think about it. But we do still have some of that smoke out there too. The Soberanus fire, the onshore flow kicking in some of the smoke here into the Central Valley, and we're still having it. It's high up in the sky. It's not down at ground level. So I guess that's the one good piece of good news. And the other piece of good news is these temperatures. 96 right now at Meadowsfield Airport. Smoky sunshine there. Elsewhere around Kern County, we are dealing with the low 90s in Buttonwillow. We're around the mid to low 90s really throughout the South Valley. 83 in Fraser Park, 82 in Tehachapi. Fantastic. 93 in Lake Isabella. The only triple-digit temperature here, 102 out in Ridgecrest. They'll likely see that again tomorrow too, but we're anywhere from 5 to 7 degrees cooler this hour than we were 24 hours ago, 4 to 5 degrees cooler in the mountains. What a day, and this day will continue, really these temperatures will continue throughout the next 7 or 10 days. Clear skies in the pinpoint satellite and radar, not a cloud in the sky for us here. And we just have a very weak area of low pressure in Northern California. Actually did spark up a few showers around Redding this afternoon, and the bigger area of low pressure, really the culprit for these cooler temperatures, is going to remain static here right off the coast of Washington. And as it does so, it's kind of just like a pinwheel spinning these little pieces of energy right to the south of it, continuing to give us this onshore flow. Each time a little piece of energy comes down into Northern California and Oregon, it will reinforce our cooler air and it will keep our temperatures into the 90s. So your Saturday looking absolutely superb. 96 in Bakersfield and Shafter, 97 in McFarland. Delano, you're at 97 in Wasco too. There, 99 towards Arvin. A little bit warmer down there. Mainly 80s in the mountains and then low 90s for the Kern River Valley. And then out towards the desert, we are looking at upper 90s and 103 yet again in Ridgecrest. Air quality tomorrow, unhealthy for sensitive groups, but almost in that moderate range. AQI at 105 in the 7-day forecast. I mean, it just keeps on getting better and better. Now it warms up a little bit there for your Monday, Tuesday, but then right back down to the mid-90s for next week. So like I said, those little pieces of energy keeping our temperatures nice and comfortable throughout the next 7 days, really and beyond. 80s in the mountains. You're going to be looking at some breezy conditions, especially through the mountain passes for the next 7 days in the Kern River Valley too, but not terrible, and temperatures obviously not terrible at all in the low 90s there. So quite a fantastic forecast here for
5 to 7 degrees lower than yesterday, but 10 to 12 degrees lower than last Friday.
Last week, exactly.
Right?
Last Saturday we were at 111, so this Saturday a whole lot better.
And Kurt's been all smiles since he found out that we were going back to the 90s because he knew that he was going to be more likable.
Well,
It's hard because you're already so
Keep the
likable.
gifts coming.
He's
Checks,
lovable,
anything.
you know.
Yeah.
That's right. Kurt the flirt.
There you go. As long as we're not flirting with triple digits.
There you go. All right, thanks, Kurt.
Precious snowmelt turning into raging rapids, slowly filling Isabella Lake.
Water is the lifeblood of the Kern River Valley up here. And I've always said in the last 30 years that the economy of the valley rises and falls with the level of the lake and the river. So this year the river is back, the lake is back, and you know, when you're in a tourist area that's dependent on water, sometimes you have low water years and you just kind of have to hold on. This is nature, and we're actually at the mercy of nature.
40 more. Keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Missing multiple years' worth of snowpack in the Kern River watershed, which includes Mount Whitney, the tallest mountain peak in the lower 48 states, has really put a damper on things up in the Kern River Valley. But that is about to change.
This year is phenomenal, and to put it in perspective, we have more snow up on Mount Whitney than the last 3 years combined. So we are really excited. The buzz is really good right now, and as you can see, it's like an old friend that's come back.
High hopes for this season along the banks of the river and lake look promising.
Keep going, keep going.
Rafting companies like Kern River Tours, that didn't open the past 2 years for the first time in 40 years of business, are already springing into action, tuning up their vehicles and blowing up their rafts.
Yeah, the season we anticipate being very good. There's a lot of pent-up demand. A lot of people have been calling for the last 2 years. And for us, we decided not to open the last 2 years. And so a lot of our customers are very much excited to go and chomping at the bit to get back out there.
So are you ready to raft? Tom Moore of Sierra South Mountain Sports says the peak months for the Upper Kern River are right now, May, June, and July. And for the Lower Kern below Isabella Lake, June, July, and into the first part of August.
Lean in.
One last thing, and even rafting experts do it. You don't have to wear toe shoes when you're rafting, but you do have to wear a life jacket and a helmet.
The water's going to be much higher this year, and from a safety standpoint, never get into the river without wearing a life jacket, and a good life jacket.
The 501c3 nonprofit Wind Wolves Preserve is one of 14 privately owned properties that make up the Wildlands Conservancy. Established in 1996, the 93,000 acres of wind wolves make it the largest nature preserve on the West Coast. And after a wet January and a hot February, the wildflowers are in full bloom. But get here fast, because these blooming beauties will soon be gone.
You know, if you want to come catch the flowers, especially the ones near the parking lot, you probably want to get out here within the next 7 days. If you're willing to go hike and travel up in the canyon and look around the corners, you've got another 2 to 3 weeks depending on rain.
Then there is Bear Mountain Boulevard, or Highway 223, by Arvin and the Bakersfield National Cemetery. The California poppy is the dominant flower out this way, and it's a pop you can't miss, making it a photographer's paradise.
Trying to get different angles. I like to get close-ups of them and kind of get down low and get different perspectives of the flowers.
Kurt Kelsey, 17 News. You might find it interesting to know when United States Forest Service firefighters aren't putting out massive wildland fires, some of them are lighting fires in the forest to protect and deter the big ones from burning the forest down. Have you ever traveled up into the mountains and seen a smoke plume like this? Travel a little further into the woods and you'll find the flames, but these flames are the good kind.
We're treating the hazardous fuels here with prescribed fire, and we've planned out this burn for several months. And hopefully over a period of time it'll continue to be a lot less fuels on the ground, and it'll be a lot easier to manage fire, as well as ecologically restore some of the forest back to where it should be.
The intricate plan that is set each morning must be followed to the T to prevent any flame from getting out of hand.
Each morning we have a morning briefing, and we talk about everything that's on the ground and all of the key players on the fire. The firing boss, the holding boss, and myself will go out and we know where everything's at, and we walk the people through the ground to make sure they know where everything's at. The hand lines, the hose lays.
One key element that needs to be in constant check, the weather.
All units on the ice burn stand by for your 12:30 weather ops. What we do is we call it spinning weather, and it's usually done on the hour just to see the change of conditions in the weather environment and how that affects our fire. And if we get close to what we consider a red flag for the day, too close, too low in humidities, too high in temperatures, things like that, then we'll spin it every half hour to see the changes closer together.
This is a sling psychrometer, which is the original way to measure relative humidity. It's now double-checked with technology for a more accurate reading.
Relative humidity, 23%, down 4 from last hour. Winds remain 1 to 4 miles per hour upslope, with the transport winds, 20-foot winds, coming out of the north.
Firefighters must be in tune with changing weather conditions to keep their controlled burn at a low-intensity heat, so the fire can't climb the trees and become uncontrollable. U.S. Forest Service firefighters work year-round to reduce the amount of dead fuels on the ground to prevent the spread of massive wildland fires. On the day we went into the forest with them, they burned 20 acres of dead fuel. Kurt Kelsey, 17 News.